Ooh, delicious. And nervous. So, which is funny because I'm an actor. My question is, as an actor, I do a lot of translation, and it comes from non-physical, obviously, because I template those characters, not with effort, but with inspiration, improvisation. And
by tuning into the essence of who they are and then letting them speak through you?
Absolutely, yeah. And sometimes I don't even know when I'm doing it. Sometimes, as a personality, people know you're an actor because sometimes I morph before them, and I don't look at it as me stepping outside of myself. I look at it as me as becoming the moment. And because of the way that I do it, I'm pretty open about saying, hey, it's non-physical energy translated through me. Some actors and some people, especially in the industry, they're like, I don't get that. What method is it? What technique do you use, or where do you study? I haven't done that.
It's the method of inspiration. It's as old as acting in itself, tell them.
Indeed, yeah. And
that'll slow them down. And only if they're really interested will they proceed with you.
Right, and that's kind of where I'm gravitating. So that's sort of where my question is gravitating around is, you know, I've got a pretty good profile. I'm okay with what I'm doing, but I guess the audition process isn't something that I'm interested in at all. And as a matter of fact, I go to few auditions, but I get the ones that I like to go to. And the first question is
determination and expectation again.
Right. That doesn't look too kind when your agent's like, Daniel, you must go to this audition. And I'm
well, your agent has a different agenda.
In
other words, your agent's rewards are primarily monetary.
Right.
Your rewards are monetary and the joy of the journey, the fun of the project. So you can't ask your agent to understand your perspective. Your agent can't understand that perspective. And your agent's perspective is fine given what it is, but don't try to get anyone to understand your point of view completely. No one can.
The second part of the question is, as I translate as an actor, I also do it...
Have you ever channeled your agent?
I've emailed her. I've called her. I Facebook her.
Let's play the role right now. In other words, take on the persona. This is the role that we want you to play right now. So you are that person, and you have a client like yourself that you're wanting to place. So what would you say to that person like you from that standpoint like her?
I'd like to see that you're a person who's on their mark, on their ball, ready, set, and go. So that.
But act it for us.
Act it? Okay, all right.
Play the role.
Am I talking to you as my client?
You're talking to you as you.
Okay.
You're talking to that client. We'll be your client.
Okay.
We'll be you. You be her.
All right. Abraham, I need to know that you are determined, dedicated, and an authentic performer, so that when I put my knowing behind you and putting you in front of a panel that could select you for work that remunerates me, that transaction goes smoothly and gathers momentum for future endeavors, future contracts.
Yeah, I want that too, but I only want to do stuff I want to do.
Well, that stuff you really want to do, how really, really, really good are you at it?
Well, I'm really, really, really good at what I do, but I'm not really, really good at everything that you might want me to do. But the stuff that I want to do, I'm really, really good at. And so if you would let me play a primary role in what I choose, we'll all live happily ever after together. How does that work for you?
I don't know how to formulate that into a contract to a producer, but you seem like a producer on your own.
Well, I'm happy that you are working with me, and I'm glad that I'm not the only actor that you're placing, because you have a lot of opportunity to place a lot of other people. I'm not your only client, and I'm glad for that, because I could not possibly do enough work to keep you happily busy and all of that. So just place me on those roles that really feel good to me and choose others to fill in everything else that's necessary for you. And you will have a fantastic career, and I will live happily ever after.
You are a rare find. A star.
We'll get rich together if you'll leave me alone.
And I'll still only take 15.
Deal.
So I'm signed. The next part of that question is sort of, this is a good grounds to make this question more easily answered, I guess. In addition to this, what makes my work particularly peculiar is I also do translation of non-physical as like me. So I do coaching, so I coach actors. And looking at what Esther does here, and I've only been following your teachings for a little bit less than a year, but I mean, I'm really absorbed what's going on here. And it just matched up with what I already had the knowing of.
Yeah.
And so as Esther sits here and relaxes into the frequency, the station from which Abraham broadcasts, that's very, very, I want to say it's special because it's similar to what I do, but it's funny, as an actor, I can come up with and conjure lines and words and things for characters that may or may not exist, but they do through me. And when I sit and I do this work, let's say with coaching someone or translating for them, I get mostly images, and I look to Esther, who gets the words. And from
different people are. Esther's more auditory. You may be more visual, although you are auditory as well. But there is another distinction that we think is worth making here, and that is when Esther is translating for us, we are a consistent energy stream that she has learned to tune to. And so it's an easier thing for her to tune to the consistency that is us than it is for you to tune to the frequency that may be this one or this one or this one or this one. So if you can, as a basis, as something that you do at the beginning of your process, if you can tune into who you are, so it goes like this. You're tuning into the frequency of that broader perspective who is really who you are, who will then tune into the frequency of this one and this one and this one and this one. And Esther is doing some of that here. In other words, there's a lot going on in a gathering like this, and it's a vibrational meeting much more than it is a verbal meeting. So for every word that is uttered, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of thoughts that are transmitted that are all melded together. And so in the beginning, when Esther was receiving us, she could feel, it felt to her as if there was a thought and then another thought, and it was almost as if she was reaching up to pull that one down and reaching up to pull that one down. Like there could be many different storylines, where as the time has gone by, now it's so compelling she never has any question about what it is that Abraham's wanting to present in any moment in time. So what we're saying to you is, what makes this successful in the way that it is Esther's vibrational preparation. She meets us at that vibrational place. And your preparation is the same. You're meeting that broader, your inner being, that higher self first, and then everything else will take care of itself. We ask you a very important question at the beginning, and we didn't really take the time for you to give us a sufficient answer. But we want to know, what is your preparation when you are attempting or getting ready to receive inspiration about a character that you might express? Let's just do that for a moment rather than extract it from another. What is your preparation? In other words, we ask you the question, do you get to know the character? Do you get to know the character? Is the character placed in his environment? Is the character placed in his mood or attitude? Is the character placed in his circumstance? Because it's only once you understand those things and you're actually able to acknowledge and emanate the mood of your character, that the appropriate words would then flow through. Because you are diverse in the characters that you're playing. You don't want to be typecast into one.
That's like my forte. I have such an extreme range of characters, and even when I'm on camera or in pictures, a lot of people say, that's not you, or that doesn't look like you at all. And I say, isn't that cool though? That's my job.
Yeah.
And